Now, Israel's government has announced it'll boycott the country's oldest newspaper, Haaretz, following criticism of its war in Gaza. At a speech in London last month, Haaretz has published a call for sanctions against Israel and referred to Palestinian militants as freedom fighters. The government has ordered all public entities to stop advertising with Haaretz. The left-leaning newspaper is known for its critical coverage of Israel's actions in the Palestinian territories. The paper's deputy editor has accused Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of trying to silence independent and critical media. And for more on this, we've invited Anat Saragusti onto the program. She is chair of the Journalists Union in Israel and joins me now from Tel Aviv. It's good to have you on the program, Anat. Firstly, do you agree with the deputy editor of the Haaretz paper that the Israeli government is trying to silence independent media by boycotting the paper in this way?
Yes, I totally agree with that. I think the Israeli government drafted a master plan to silence independent media in Israel and to weaken the press freedom in Israel. And the sanctions on Haaretz is only one chapter of this master plan. They also passed a resolution within the government to divest money and actually to destroy the public broadcast in Israel. This was also was decided yesterday by the same government. So these are two steps, part of this master plan.
And as you would know, there are two sides to every story. And just coming back to the boycott on the Haaretz newspaper, the communications minister, Shlomo Karhi, accuses the paper of what he says is inciting against the state of Israel. Has the paper been fully objective in its coverage?
First of all, as a journalist, you may know that objectivity no longer exists. You should be fair, you should be balanced, you should, look for the facts. You should check fact everything that you say. I mean, objectivity is not the goal in this context, if I may. And I think Haaretz is critical towards the government. It's not insightful in no way. It does bring stories from the other side, from Gaza Strip, which other media outlets don't dare do. And this is, taking their role as journalists seriously and in a responsible way. And so the government, and especially the Minister of Communication, Karhi, from the minute he walked into the office, from the minute he took office, he announced that he is going to present a reform to re-regulate the independent media in Israel. And of course, Haaretz is one of his targets because he doesn't like what Haaretz depicts, the messages that Haaretz convey, and the coverage that Haaretz and the tone of Haaretz towards the government. And I remind you that us as journalists should be critical against our government wherever we are, because this is our role, to shed light on dark places.
You mentioned the other outlets. How would you assess the Israeli media coverage of the war in Gaza? Is there an effort by the other media outlets to show the suffering of Palestinian civilians?
Not at all. I mean, I think that Haaretz, as a mainstream media outlet, is the only one that constantly shows what's going on in Gaza. I must say that showing what's going on in Gaza and the scale of the humanitarian crisis in Gaza doesn't necessarily mean that you support Hamas, that you are biased towards Hamas, that you lean on to Hamas, or that you deny the atrocities and the slaughter of October 7th. It means that you behave like a responsible journalist. So ours is the only one that covers Gaza intensively, daily. The other media outlets don't dare do that. I think, unfortunately, the Israeli public is not open to listen to anything coming out of the other side of the border. They're not, they cannot contain the suffering of the Palestinians in Gaza. So they don't understand the humanitarian crisis there, and they don't see what the rest of the world sees in terms of the atrocities and the war and the huge destruction there and the human lives that has been paid, more than 43,000 people. Casualties in Gaza already. So the Israeli public does not see that in terms of what they see or what they watch on mainstream television.
Anat, we appreciate that. Thank you so much for weighing in on the story for us. That is Anat Saragusti, chair of the Journalists Union in Israel. Thanks very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.